Okay, I'm going to take you back to Tijuana,
Yes.
Fletch.
Okay, so just
Set the scene.
set the scene. Why you were over there?
Okay.
What were you doing?
So
what does it taste like?
It's an 18-year-old young James, fresh out of Port Macquarie, just moved to Sydney, qualified for the Australian team straight away as an 18-year-old. And we've gone over to the US before we do the Pan Pacific Championships against America. So we're staying in San Diego, and it's been a bit of a rough ride so far getting accepted into the team. It's an older team, and I'm probably
Who was the worst? Don't let me guess.
the worst in terms of like hazing and stuff. Probably
not hazing, but just wouldn't talk to you. It was just
like Ash Callis, who was in the
who's he?
in the relay, the guitar relay team. So some of these guys are in their 30s.
No one. Is he won an Olympic medal?
Yeah, in the he was in the foursome with Thorpe and Clemmy.
Any individual honours?
No.
Nah, see you later.
Yeah. So anyway, some of these guys are sort of late 20s, early 30s.
Was that too callous?
And I've come in as an 18-year-old, so I'm having a bit of a rough trip so far. They've switched my bag with Liesl Jones. I've taken Liesl Jones's bag to the pool, and she's blown up at me. They've told her I was sniffing her undies and stuff, and she's lost the plot, which of course I wasn't.
No.
Yeah, Liesl not too kind on a young missile. And I actually had the nickname at the time, Fighter Pilot, because I wore big goggles when I was training. So older boys are calling me Fighter Pilot. This is pre-missile.
Right, there's no missile.
So when I won my first world title, the commentator just goes, "This is the part of the race where he's the missile," or something like that, and it stuck from then on. This is pre-missile. So they were calling me Fighter Pilot.
Fighter Pilot.
Tough times.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Not real creative in the swimming world.
No. So the older boys in the team come to me and they say, after training, meet in the lobby, bring your passport and just wear casual clothes. We're going to take you out somewhere. I'm like, well, all right, this is pretty exciting. The boys are accepting me. So I'm, rock up in the lobby, very excited, got my passport, don't know where we're going. The older boys come and grab me and they take me in this, like a hire van. We're driving from San Diego, then we hit the border of Mexico, and they go, "Surprise, we're taking you to Tijuana." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Had you heard of Tijuana? Did you know what goes on down there?
No, knew nothing. This is one of my first times overseas.
Oh, this is awesome.
Hadn't been out of Port Macquarie much, to be honest. So we get to the border of Mexico in this huge line with a lot of people coming back and forth. It's a pretty busy spot. Go into Mexico. And the boys say, "All right, we're going to take you to a strip club." So we walk into the strip club, and we've got to get to the news.
We'll
come
this
back.
is a good tease.
Second part of the story after the news. Thanks, Amy. Welcome back to the Run Home with Joel and Fletch. All right, where were we, Fletch?
Your
Main Street,
Tijuana.
Yeah,
which is in Mexico, just on the border of North America.
Yes, correct.
States,
Correct. Surprisingly dodgy, scary, sketchy kind of place. Very eye-opening. So the boys say, "We're going to take you to a strip club." It would have been, say, 10, 11 a.m. in the morning.
Solid.
Interesting time for a strip club.
At 18.
At 18, yeah.
This is great.
This is my first strip club as well. Hadn't been before. No strip clubs in Port Macquarie. So we go into the strip club, and it is a very sketchy establishment. Some dodgy-looking Mexican blokes at the door, sort of, crowded around as you walk in. And then the lovely ladies of the strip club had seen better days.
Got you.
Anyway, the boys go over and they're talking to the girls, and one of the girls comes and grabs me and says, "You're coming with us. They've paid for a dance." So they take me off she takes me off into a separate room, and all the boys are waving, and they walk out of the strip club. I'm like, "Oh, this is like what's going on here?"
How many of the other boys are there?
5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm now alone in the strip club, and there's these heavies in there. So I'm not willing to leave without getting this dance. Anyway, she takes me closed room, like padded lounge or something. I sit down in the lounge, and she's giving me the dance and all, like it's all going on. And
Was she clothed?
No.
Not a scary con. Starkers.
Yeah. Well, it started off with lingerie or whatever, ended with not a scary con. And I was looking everywhere but at her, like looking at the top of the room, looking at the floor, looking at the walls, like just trying to avoid eye contact because I was so awkward. And there wasn't much English happening either. So she was saying stuff and I didn't know what she was saying. And as she was talking to me, I was just looking at the ceiling, just nodding like, yep. Anyway,
A
I don't
gringo.
know.
A gringo.
Yeah, it would have gone for like the most awkward 10, 15 minutes of my life. Just, it felt like it was a lifetime. Anyway, I walked out of there, walked past the heavies outside into the bright sunlight, and all the boys are standing out there and they're laughing at me. And one of the boys, one of the oldest and most respected members of the team, and someone that I looked up to, came up to me and goes, "Mate, what's happened there?" I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, look at your leg." And I was wearing these light jean shorts. And I looked down, and on the thigh of my leg, sort of halfway between my knee and my hip, is this big wet patch. He goes, "Mate, what happened there?" I go, "I don't know." And he goes, "Well, why is it wet?" And I said, "Well, she was sitting on there at one point." He goes, "Oh, mate, that's no good." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I think you've got an STI." And I probably wasn't the best listener in class at school. And I was like, "Can you get an STI off that?" And I really respected this guy. I'd looked up to him most of my life. And he goes, "Absolutely you can." He says, "I guarantee you've got one." And I went, "Oh, you're kidding." So we spent the rest of the day walking around Tijuana. I was dead quiet. I don't think I spoke another word. We got to the border, and I don't know what the other boys were doing. They were, all sorts of debauchery. Anyway, we got to the border. We drive back to the hotel that night. And the whole way, I'm in my own head. I'm going, my first big international meet. I said, "I'm not sure if I'm going to get sick from this. Is this going to affect my performance? Like, what's the repercussions of this? I've let down my country. First time overseas representing Australia." Anyway, so we get to dinner that night, and it's weighing too heavy on me. So I walk over to the staff table, and the doctor's there, and I said, "Oh, doc, can I please talk to you in private?" And he comes over, and I said, "Oh, I've got a problem. Can I see you after dinner?" He goes, Yeah. He goes, "Well, just talk to me about it now." I said, No, this is serious. I need to see you in private." He goes, "Oh, okay." He said, "Come to my room after dinner. This is my room number, and we'll sort it out." So all right, and it's just a very long dinner. It's still weighing on me very heavy. After dinner, I go and knock on the doctor's door, and he goes, "Yeah, no, come in the room." He goes, "What's happened?" I said, "Oh, it's a little bit embarrassing, but I've caught an STI." And he goes, "What's happened?" And I said, "Well, I was down in Tijuana today at a strip club, and this lady was grinding on my leg, and she didn't have any clothes on, and she's given me an STI." He goes, "Oh, did you have intercourse with her?" I said, "No." He said, "Were your pants on?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "At all times?" Yeah, absolutely. I didn't take my pants off." He goes, "So how did you get an STI?" I said, "Well, I don't know. She just gave me one." He goes, "Who told you that?" And I said, "Oh, we're just and I didn't want to snitch on anyone."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, who were you in Tijuana with?" And I said, "Oh, I was on my own." He looks at me like, and he goes, "Well, just for your peace of mind, there's no way you can possibly get an STI through your pants. Go back to your room, behave yourself, and don't go to Tijuana again."
That Dan Kowalski's a real funny bugger. Missile. That's the second time I've heard it. It's even better. Yeah, it's even better.